Hello students, in the subjects International Humanitarian Law, now we will see Unit 3. Earlier we have finished our Unit 1 and Unit 2 and kindly I just inform you all that kindly watch all the videos so you will get an idea what type of points are discussed in video lectures. And you can take the help of internet material also, so you can prepare for your examination whenever it will be held by the university. Right now we are coming to the point on unit 3 of our syllabus, which deals with United Nations and humanitarian law. So here again we are going to discuss different points related to United Nations Declaration on Human Rights and Humanitarian Law also. And in that the first part we will cover today is the role of Economic and Social Council and International Labour Organization. So dear students, kindly note that humanitarian law, though it is recognized as the law for warfare and law for the treatment of wounded soldiers and civilians and other who are affected by the wars, but still it is related to human rights. The first thing, and it is very clear that everything treated as a preservation and protection of the human rights, and that's why the role of different international instrumentalities which are the part of United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, they are also related to international humanitarian law. So first of all we will see what is the role of economic and social councils to preserve the human rights and also to give initiative, to give inspiration for the enactment of humanitarian law and to make implementation of different provisions of the humanitarian law. So first of all we will see what is the Economic and Social Council and why it was established. So if you see that the preamble of the Charter of United Nations that proclaims the people of United Nations are determined to promote social progress and better standards of life in larger freedom. So this was the basic thing in the UN declaration, that it is for the betterment of the people and their promotion in social progress. So all the things which are related with the human rights, they are related to the development of human being, for the social development, economic development and cultural development of the human being, and the preservation and protection of human rights all over the world. So the para 3 of Article 1 that also lays that it is the primary purpose of United Nations to achieve the international cooperation in solving the international problems of an economic, social, cultural and humanitarian character, and to promote and encourage the respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms without distinction to race, sex, caste, language, religion. So this is what the base of humanitarian law. This is what the base of social and cultural development of the human being under the human rights perspective. So that's why the role of Economic and Social Council is a big role in development of the humanitarian law, the concept of humanitarian law, and for the foundation of humanitarian law. So both the things are closely related, and there is very difference of millimeter line between human rights protection and humanitarian law. So though a particular class has been taken into consideration for the purpose of certain articles and certain legal provisions for the humanitarian law, but the basic concept behind it, the basic principle of the human rights preservation is the main thing in humanitarian law also. Okay, now let us see what is the composition of the Economic and Social Council and what does it has powers and functions in the preservation of human rights as well as the humanitarian law. So, provision regarding the composition of Economic and Social Council, they are laid down in Article 61 of the Charter. And the council consists of 54 members which are elected by the General Assembly. Now all of you may be knowing about all the international instrumentalities which are the part of the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, and most of the international instrumentalities, they are International Court of Justice, Security Council, General Assembly, and the World Health Organization, then International Council for the Economic and Social Political Rights. So all these, they are related with the human rights protection and preservation. So looking to the foundation or composition of the Economic and Social Council, we have to first of all understand what is the composition or constitution. 1/3 of the total members, that is 18 members of the council, they are elected each year for a term of 3 years, and retiring members are eligible for the immediate re-election, and each member is represented by one representative of the council. The election of the council are held in accordance with the principles of equitable geographical distribution. Again, this is a World Economic and Social Council. So each and every state member party shall be given the appropriate representation in such councils. So that is why the geographical distribution is also taken into consideration while making the elections under the Article 61 of the Charter. Now, the permanent members of the Security Council, they have no privileged position in Economic and Social Council. However, they are served continuously as the members, and it is submitted that the composition of the Economic and Social Council should be reformed many times, and it will be appropriate for the Security Council. Now let us see what is the voting system, because it is a representation of all the states, member states, and those who are elected by the council. Voting in the council is simple and direct, and each member has one vote. All the decisions are taken by simple priority of simple majority of those present and voting, and the council invites all the members of United Nations to participate. Without vote, it is deliberate on the any matter of particular concern of that member. And Article 70 lays down that the council provides arrangements for such participation by specialized agencies. So this is what the voting system for Economic and Social Council. What is the main role that we are going to discuss? What is the role of Economic and Social Council in the preservation of humanitarian law and human rights, of course. So what is the powers and functions? Because unless they have certain powers, they cannot take suo motu action in the preservation of the human rights world over. So the regular sessions of councils are held twice in a year, and 1 month long. There should be gap between the two sessions, and they can be held at New York and Geneva. The first session is usually devoted to social and human rights, and the second session is economic and development of the matters. So in addition to the regular sessions, there can be some special sessions arranged by the Economic and Social Council's members. So the council performs concrete tasks in the field of international, economic and social cooperation, and it carries out functions under the guidance of the General Assembly. So again here you can find out that the General Assembly has major impact on the functioning of Economic and Social Council. And the one thing that fundamental principle is of the preservation and protection of human rights all over the world, and to take action wherever there is violation of such rights of the persons. So again, a humanitarian law is also related with the protection of the persons who are wounded, who are sick persons, who are civil persons but affected by the warfares, and that is the responsibility of the states who are participating in the warfare. And there should be some concrete regulations for taking care of such persons who are in need of the care and protection. Now, the Council may make or initiate studies and reports with respect to the international, economic, social, cultural, educational, health, and related matters. So, these are the regular functions of the humanitarian law and economic and social council. Then again, it may make recommendations with respect to any such matters where the General Assembly founds that the members of the United Nations and specialized agencies are concerned, and where they deems that such function should be taken into the consideration of economic and social councils functioning. The council may make recommendations for the purpose of promoting of the respect for and observance of human rights and fundamental freedoms. Then the council may prepare draft conventions of the submissions to the General Assembly for any subject failing within its competence. The council may call in accordance with the rules prescribed by the United Nations international conferences on the matters of where it is required. The Council may also furnish the information to the Security Council and assist Security Council upon its request for a matter which is of importance. The Council can make the arrangements of the members and make recommendations for the preservation of human rights. The Council of Economic and Social shall perform such functions which are falling within the recommendations by the General Assembly. And the council can perform other functions also which are specified by the United Nations Charter under this charter with the permission of the General Assembly. So this is what one thing is very clear, that Economic and Social Council will work and function all the powers under the recommendations of General Assembly, but they are meant for the social development, economic development and political development of the human beings under the human rights. Now, functioning related to specialized agencies. So, there are certain other functions also which are specifically conferred on the Economic and Social Council for the preservation of human rights. So, they are the Council can enter into the agreements where these agencies bring for the relationship with the United Nations, and the agreements can be for preservation and protection of the human rights for the betterment of the mankind, but should be approved by the General Assembly. The Council is empowered to coordinate the activities of the specialized agencies with consultation and recommendations to the General Assembly and other members of the United Nations. Then Council is empowered to obtain regular reports from the specialized agencies. The Council can also make arrangements and member states and with specialized agencies to secure the reports on the steps taken to give effect to own requirements, own recommendations and other things related to the protection of humanitarian law. The main functional commissions, they are the charter under Article 68 that provides that Economic and Social Council shall set up commissions in economic and social fields and for the promotion of human rights and such other commissions as may be required. So, the Economic and Social Council, that is particularly meant for the preservation of the human rights and taking care of the other recommendations given under humanitarian law. Now, the Human Rights Commission has Development and Statistical Commission also. So, the Human Rights Commission has a subcommission on preservation of discrimination and protection of minorities. So, that will be an additional function. These commissions are composed of experts chosen on the basis of personal qualifications so that they may provide the best technical advice. Regional commissions, there are certain regional commissions which are also having the role in preservation of human rights and humanitarian laws also. The charter has not made any provision for the creation of such regional commissions, but the council has established 5 regional economic commissions to assist in the performance of its functions. So they are Economic Commission for Europe, because the worldwide, if we have to take certain concrete implementation of the human rights and humanitarian law, then we need assistance, because the geographical area is too large and the member states, they are also having large population. So, Economic Commission for Europe, the General Assembly in its first session urged the Commission for Europe, and accordingly the Economic Commission for Europe has been established in March 1947 to work for the economic reconstruction of post-war Europe, to increase economic activity of European countries, and to provide their governments with economic, technological and statistical information. Its headquarters are situated at Geneva. So the preservation of human rights of post-war conditions and taking certain steps for protection of the warfares, that is also the basic agenda of such regional commissions for assisting the main council. Second one is Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, ESCAP. This is Asia and Pacific Commission. So the commission was established in March 1947 as the Economic Commission for Asia and Far East, and it was renamed in 1974 to reflect the equal concern of economic growth and of the Latin America and the Caribbean also. Economic Commission for Latin America and Caribbean, that is ECLAC. So this is what the Economic Commission for Latin America and Caribbean that was set up on February of 1948, and in 1983 it formally incorporated the Caribbean region into its name, becoming the Economic Commission for Latin America and Caribbean, that is ECLAC, and its headquarters is situated in Santiago. Its biennially committee of whole that carries out its work between the sessions. The Economic Commission for Africa, that is ECA, and the Economic Commission for Africa was established in April 9, 1958, and the headquarters is situated in Addis Ababa. The chief objective of the commission is the modernization and emphasis on rural development and industrialization. The Economic Economic Commission for Africa has sub-regional organization, and that was set up in 1977, which is known as the Multinational Programming and Operational Centers. These 5 centers have been set up in 1977, and the Commission works closely with the operations of African Unity, that is OAU. So these are the organizations of African Unity. So and the fifth one, that regional councils or regional commission for the assessment of economic and social council. So it is the Economic and Social Commission for Western Asia. This ESCWA, Economic and Social Commission for Western Asia, it was established in 1973 and has main function started with 1974, and this was earlier having headquarters in Beirut. However, the civil strife and conflicts in Lebanon led it to relocate in Amman in 1976. So now it is in the Amman country. These all commissions, they are composed of the countries within the area and having certain other countries with special interest. So these commissions undertake research and advise the council on problems of the regional nature and make recommendations to major government admitted in the advisory capacity and specialized agencies on matters falling within their competence. So this is what the role of Economic and Social Council on preservation of the human rights and humanitarian laws, and they are taking suo motu actions wherever they found that there is the violation or severe condition of violations in the field of humanitarian law or human rights protection.